Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
Hello, my name is Mary Campbell, legal assistant at the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, and your presenter with this week's immigration news based on an article by America's Voice, July 4, celebrating the contributions of immigrants in the U.S. military, serving, defending, dying to protect America. As Americans all over the country prepare to celebrate July 4 festivities with picnics, fireworks, and parades, it's also a time to celebrate our nation's enduring history as a beacon of hope for millions of immigrants who have arrived here in search of better lives. Many have served with honor in the U.S. military. In fact, immigrants have a long tradition of serving in the military, fighting in major conflicts since our country's founding. Hundreds of thousands of immigrants pledged to defend the United States with their lives in the Civil War, both world wars, and conflicts like those in Vietnam, Afghanistan and Iraq, festivities said in a 2022 report, estimating that roughly 45,000 immigrants were actively serving at that time. The most recent government estimates report that about 5,000 legal permanent residents enlist each year. Not only does the U.S. military depend on foreign-born recruits to build and strengthen its numbers, skills, and power, military service has been a valuable mechanism for immigrants to gain U.S. citizenship. More than 187,000 immigrants have naturalized through military service. Since 2002, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, said last year. In FY 2024, we naturalized more than 16,290 service members, a 34% increase from the previous year. Service members born in the Philippines, Jamaica, Mexico, Nigeria, and Ghana, the top 5 countries of birth among those naturalized, comprised over 38% of the naturalizations since FY 2020. USCIS continued. The next 5 countries of birth, Haiti, China, Cameroon, Vietnam, and South Korea, comprised an additional 16% of military naturalizations from FY 2020 to FY 2024. According to festivities, approximately 700,000 foreign-born veterans, many of whom are now U.S. citizens, live in the U.S. today. And without their critical skills, including in translation, interpreting, specialized knowledge of regions around the world, and pure grit, our military would be at a significant disadvantage. Foreign-born enrollees are also critical to military strength when U.S. recruiting goals have fallen short in recent years. Their service and dedication have not gone unnoticed. Of the more than 3,400 Medals of Honor awarded since the Civil War, 22% have gone to immigrants, according to the nonprofit National Foundation for American Policy, NFAP. Military.com reported in 2020. The report highlights retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Alfred V. Raskin, a Mexican immigrant and naturalized American who was honored with the Silver Star and Medal of Honor for his courage in Vietnam. Disregarding his own life and his numerous wounds, Specialist Raskin reached and covered him with his body, absorbing the blast from the exploding grenades and saving the soldier's life, but sustaining additional wounds to his body, the citation states. While making his way to the wounded point squad leader, grenades were hurled at the sergeant. Again, in complete disregard for his own life, he reached and covered the sergeant with his body, absorbing the full force of the grenade explosions. Once more, Specialist Raskin was critically wounded by shrapnel, but disregarded his own wounds to continue to search and aid the wounded, it adds. Severely wounded, he remained on the battlefield, inspiring his fellow soldiers to continue the battle. After the enemy broke contact, he disregarded aid for himself, instead treating the wounded and directing their evacuation, according to the citation. Some have made the ultimate sacrifice in honor of their adoptive nation. According to one figure, 300 foreign-born soldiers died in combat between 2001 and 2013. One of these immigrant patriots, Marine Lance Corporal Jose Gutierrez, 22, was one of the first U.S. service members to be killed in action during Operation Iraqi Freedom. He was once undocumented, arriving in the U.S. alone when he was just 14. The last time he wrote to his foster mother, he complained he couldn't keep the sand out of his tent or food, Time reported. Less than a month later, he was dead, becoming the second U.S. service member to be killed in action in the conflict. He was posthumously awarded U.S. citizenship by the federal government. Specialist Francis Obaji, originally from Nigeria, enlisted in the U.S. military following September 11, New American Economy said in 2015. Throughout his training and deployment in Iraq, Francis never lost his optimism, and he was unstoppable in his determination to defend his adopted country. Sadly, on January 16, 2005, Francis died in a vehicle accident in Iraq. Sergeant Catalin Dima, originally from Romania, also enlisted in the U.S. military following the 2001 terror attack. He was killed in Iraq on the same day he was promoted to sergeant, New American Economy said. We should also remember that many immigrants, such as military dreamers, wish to serve their country but are hindered by their lack of legal immigration status, while other recruits have seen the expedited path to citizenship promised to them by Congress blocked by anti-immigrant policy. This commitment represents extraordinary patriotism and honorable service to others, and our country should meet this commitment in good faith by offering a clear, expedited pathway to citizenship for immigrant service members, FDD.us added. Ahead of Independence Day 2025, we recognize immigrant military members and all military members for their service to our nation. That includes ensuring they have the benefits and citizenship they've deservedly earned and are able to live in the country they've fought for.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.